Hi. Let's learn about debtor-in-possession, DIP. A debtor-in-possession is a business or individual that has filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy protection but still holds property to which creditors have a legal claim under a lien or other security interest. A DIP may continue to do business using those assets. However, it is required to seek court approval for any actions that fall outside the scope of regular business activities. The DIP must also keep precise financial records, insure any property, and file appropriate tax returns. Debtor-in-possession is typically a transitional stage in which the debtor, most often a business, attempts to salvage value from assets after bankruptcy. The most obvious reason for obtaining DIP status is that the assets can be used as part of a functioning business with higher resale value than the assets themselves. DIP status lets bankrupt companies and individuals avoid liquidation at fire sale prices, which helps both the bankrupt party and their creditors. Consider a mom-and-pop restaurant that was forced into bankruptcy during a recession. The restaurant may still have talented staff, a good reputation, and loyal customers. These could all be more valuable to the right buyer than the restaurant's building and equipment. However, it may take months or even years to find that buyer. A debtor-in-possession might be able to continue operating the restaurant until they find the right buyer. Alternatively, debtor-in-possession status can be used to reorganize a business. Returning to the bankrupt restaurant example, the owners could eventually find a local investor willing to buy their building and rent it back to them. The funds from the sale might be used to pay off all their creditors and emerge from bankruptcy. The restaurant would then be back in business on a different basis. Although DIPs often exercise substantial influence over the assets in their possession, it is essential to realize that they no longer own those assets. Creditors can ultimately use the courts to force a sale of the DIP assets. The key advantage to DIP status is, of course, being able to continue running a business. A DIP may also be able to secure debtor-in-possession financing, DIP financing, that can help to keep the business financially afloat until it can be sold. A debtor-in-possession can sometimes even retain property by paying the creditor its fair market value if the court approves the sale. For example, an individual debtor may seek to buy back their car, so they can use it to work or find work to pay off the creditor. After filing for Chapter 11 bankruptcy, the debtor must close the bank accounts they used before the filing and open new ones that name the DIP and their status on the account. From that point on, many decisions the debtor might previously have made alone must now be approved by a court. A debtor-in-possession must act in the best interests of creditors and, in the case of a business, its employees. Other spending is carefully regulated. For example, the debtor usually cannot pay off debts that arose before filing for bankruptcy unless they are permissible under the bankruptcy code or approved by the court. The DIP also cannot put up company assets as collateral or employ and pay professionals without court permission. Chapter 11 is a type of bankruptcy most often filed for by businesses, in particular corporations and partnerships. Sometimes referred to as a reorganization bankruptcy, it allows the business to continue operating under court supervision while it attempts to pay its creditors. Individuals can also file for Chapter 11, but they more typically use. Here are 4 key takeaways. 1. A debtor-in-possession, DIP, is a business or person that has filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy protection but still holds property to which creditors have a legal claim under a lien or other security interest. 2. Debtor-in-possession, DIP, is typically a transitional stage during which the debtor attempts to salvage value from assets after bankruptcy. 3. Although DIPs often exercise substantial influence over the assets in their possession, creditors can ultimately use courts to force the sale of those assets. 4. The key advantage to DIP status is being able to continue running a business, albeit with the obligation to do so in the best interest of any creditors. Hope this would help. Thanks for watching.